What is up, Joker fans? Now, welcome to a new update on the Joker movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. Now, in the past day or two since I've made my last video, and be sure to click the card at the top of the screen if you missed out on that one, there have been a couple of bombshells and leaks about this movie, which are very interesting, and personally, I am on board with, but I think a lot of people will find it kind of controversial. So before we go ahead and discuss this new juicy information on the Joker film, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more Joker updates just like this. So for the first bombshell of this video, and now this is an interesting one, but not necessarily surprising, as after all, this is the origin movie for the Joker. Supposedly, before the events that will drive him mad and make him the guy we know and love as a clown prince of crime, he will be going by the name of Arthur Fleck. So reported by the hashtag show, it says that the Joker movie will follow Fleck as he returns to the city on the brink. And it is speculated that he will be returning home to Gotham City to look after his possible aging, dying mother, Penny, in her apartment. Now, if you guys have been staying kind of up to date with all of this stuff, we did learn a list of characters that would be cast in the film, and Penny is one of them, and everyone's putting two and two together, and this is supposedly what might be happening with Arthur Fleck returning to the city just to look after his aging mother, and possibly that might be at the very beginning kind of the film that leads on to the events for the rest of the film that will dive him into madness. Now, I know what some people are going to say. Wait, what? No, I don't want Joker to have a name, but it's like, I know not all of you may be thinking that Jack Napier or Jack Nicholson's Joker is your favorite, but at the end of the day, Jack Napier was Jack Nicholson's Joker's name. Like, it's not completely unfounded to have a little bit of an origin for the Joker. I know some of you are firm believers that this shouldn't be happening, or like, you know, there shouldn't be an origin, but I am completely on board of a new iteration on the screen, this really in-depth character study of a film starring a guy who I have so much faith in, Joaquin Phoenix, and Todd Phillips directing this kind of movie where we see the descent into madness for this beloved character, this beloved villain of all time, really. I personally find it fascinating that we're going to follow the events of Arthur Fleck, and now some people are also speculating that this will all be from the perspective of the Joker, and this is why I have also tried to make this really apparent in my opinions as well, that this film could still make you happy if you're not a complete believer in introducing a name like Arthur Fleck, for example, and seeing him go back to Gotham and seeing all of this origin and his descent into madness. But what if they do introduce the fact that it could be a kind of multiple choice situation, or it's from his skewed opinion at the end of the film? What if we see different jumps in timelines where he's telling the story? That this is all under speculation. It might not be that way. They generally might play it quite linear in the terms of following Arthur Fleck, his descent into madness, looking after his mother, meeting this other character, which I'll get to in a second, and so on and so forth. But even if it does go that way, I'm still on board. I think it will still be a very interesting film, and we have to remember is this is kind of an Elseworlds film. It's just going to be a different approach to the character, and there's nothing wrong at all with new iterations. I mean, for example, the Gotham TV show, that has been insanely popular with Cameron Monaghan's Joker-ish character, and what they're doing on that show is this inspiration sort of arc for the Joker, and that is an origin within itself, because Gotham is a prequel show, yet people love that. What I truly think is happening, not for everybody, but a lot of people impulsively take this at face value and think this is going to be horrible if they do this. But if you kind of take a second to look beyond that and look at how this could be, I think it could be very, very good. But anyway, going back to the core of this bombshell, Arthur Fleck, I honestly don't mind the name. It would have been cool for Jack Napier, but maybe why not change it up with a different name? It's just going to be something fresh and new, but similar-y to other things. But a lot of people won't realize that at the same time. They'll think this is, oh, no, this is an abomination. But really, it has kind of been explored before, but now they're fully just embracing this gritty character study of a man who has been disregarded by society, and we'll see him delve into the depths of madness. But there are a couple of amazing theories of how this will happen in the movie, and I'll get to that later on in this video. But as for the second bombshell, it is reported that Robert De Niro is definitely going to be in this movie. Now, this has actually been rumored for a long time that he would be playing this TV reporter, and the hashtag show says that if he has joined the film, if true, we can confirm that De Niro will portray the role of the late night TV host Murray Franklin. Now, I do wonder with the fact that this is a quote-unquote gritty character study of a man who's been disregarded by society, and it's also a broader cautionary tale. What if somehow in this version of the Joker's origin, Arthur Fleck somehow gets disregarded by society through the Franklin report on his TV show, or something like that? Something that gets big enough traction on news in Gotham City that really ridicules him, and ridicules him to the core, that starts his depth into madness. Now, this is just speculation, 100%. But you have to think about what they're setting up here and put 2 and 2 together with different things. And also, the hashtag should have a few good ideas as well. But anyway, Robert De Niro coming on board, that's amazing. And this is what I've mentioned in my previous videos as well. With Elseworlds films like this, and it being a singular kind of one-shot, like a graphic novel, self-contained story kind of thing, you do attract big star actors like this, and that is what I love about this new DC Dark / DC Black kind of banner. It is really fascinating to see all of this and all these stars like Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro, and other people, which I'll get to in a second, joining on board with the film. Now this is where we start getting into the juicy meat of the situation and the stories, and I'll develop upon this later. But it's also reported, and they know that Thomas Wayne will be featured in the film, and this could heavily weave into this version of the Joker's origin story. They might really kind of change it up and weave it in familiar things we've heard before of the Joker. And they state, we also know that Thomas Wayne will be featured in the film, described as cheesy, tanned, and rich looking, brackets, remember this is from the Joker's point of view, and that he will be in his 60s. And they say that could Thomas Wayne's bastard become Bruce's lifelong enemy? Now this is what I mean by where it gets very interesting. The reason why they're saying could Thomas Wayne's bastard be, Bruce Wayne's, when he's Batman one day, lifelong enemy, as we know the Joker, because what if in this twisted Elseworlds versions of events, the reason why they're so twistedly connected is because what if Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, Arthur Fleck, is Bruce Wayne's half-brother? Now that would be really interesting. And what I mean by connecting the dots is, remember when we had all the character details, character descriptions released? Amongst one of those was the Joker's mother, Penny. And the thing is, the character is described as very attractive in her youth and obsessed with her former employer, and also unable to believe that this is what her life has come to. And I know this is a crazy theory, but this is, as I mentioned, there's nothing wrong with being ambitious and creating a new script where the Joker and Bruce Wayne, Batman, have a much deeper connection than what we could have ever possibly have imagined. And it would make, you could kind of see how Joaquin Phoenix is Arthur Fleck with what I mentioned earlier. Maybe it comes out, maybe it gets reported on the news, maybe it gets ridiculed, maybe it gets outcast and disregarded by society. It just delves him into complete madness. It's just fascinating. This would also set up some of the familiar things we know in the comics, the Joker's obsession with not only Batman but Bruce Wayne at times. But it is very important to note that this is all just theories. It really just is. But it is very interesting. It makes you go like this when you look at the character descriptions, you look at who's been cast, you look at the descriptions of the mother, you look at why Arthur Fleck has come back to Gotham City, you look at Robert De Niro being casted as his TV reporter, you look at the premise of the film that they've stated. It just makes you think, okay. I don't know, guys. As I mentioned, that's just a theory, but it's insanely interesting when you just take into fact all of the dots that you can now connect with the description of the mother being described as, but recently her health has started failing and she's nearly bedridden in her Lower East Side apartment, which she shares with a grown son who just moved back home. She's obsessed with her former employer and can't believe that this is what her life has come to, that she ended up here, like this. Why would she wonder that? What if she had a fling with Thomas Wayne? What if she thought that her life was going to be different because it is Thomas Wayne, and if you're with Thomas Wayne, your life would be different? But no, she's in a Lower East Side apartment. She didn't get any support when she gave birth to Arthur Fleck, considering that might be Thomas Wayne's son, and now she's just, in this situation. So you can kind of imagine how this film could go. Now, the last dose of news with all of this crazy news that we've already talked about is that Zazie Beetz is actually in talks to be in this movie as well. Now, you may remember her from Atlanta or most recently Deadpool 2. So what if her and Arthur Fleck get this bond? What if when he starts delving into madness, she kind of embraces it with him? What if he loses her and that's another seed that is sown into his madness? This is all just speculation at the end of the day, guys, but honestly, this movie is looking more and more exciting, and news is coming out fast and things are unfolding fast because it does start shooting in New York in September, and then it apparently has a release date of October 4th 2019, so stuff is really coming out fast and unfolding fast. So be sure, guys, to subscribe to this channel for more information just like this. I love the idea of this new take of this deeper connection to Bruce Wayne and Batman. Obviously that is just a theory at this time, but let me know what you think when you add each part up in terms of the character descriptions, the premise of the film. Let me know what dots you connect. If you like this video, yes you, if you liked it, be sure to hit that like button. It only takes 2 seconds of your time and it really does help this video out. And be sure to click the card at the top of the video to make sure you haven't missed out on a single Joker origin movie update. Links are in the description as always, everybody, to my social media, to my Patreon where you can support the channel even more. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.